joined again. Yeah,
yes, come back.
Yeah. Mr. Adewale, can you also make me a co-host so that in case you drop off, I can continue? Just make me a co-host so that share your screen, and then also make me a co-host so that I can continue and share my screen. Okay, we've got another person that joined also, Dr. Abubakar Abdulkadir. You are welcome. Dr. Abubakar, can you hear us? Dr. Abubakar, can you hear us? Okay. We continue then. We'll continue.
Sure.
Okay. Dr. Abubakar, can you hear us? Okay, that's fine. So just as I said, we are just, agriculture is just 25% of the GDP. Okay, excellent, that's fine. We just started not long ago. We just started like about 5 minutes ago, so you've actually not missed. We're still in the introduction side. Okay. So just as I said, agriculture is 25% of the GDP, which is a whopping 4.5 trillion business. That's the estimate, and also employs the largest number, at least 70%. I mean, estimate of 70% of Nigerian labor force, which is the largest employer of labor. So government cannot joke with it. You've got about 200 million mouth to feed. You've also got a business, just one single sector of the economy that's responsible for employing 75% of the labor force. So government cannot really joke with it. And if not because of agriculture, our economy would have actually been worse off since 2015. Let's go to the next place, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so I presume since you're already in the business, you've always didn't know the SWOT. Any business you're going to do, you should be able to do a SWOT analysis of it to know whether it's something that you wanted to do or not. As we've actually said it, there seems to be a lot of opportunity in agriculture. You have a 200 million population to feed, and you also have employability and part of it. So you have a lot of things to do, and the great opportunity lies in there, both in the local market and the export market. Also, the strength of agriculture is that there's an ease of doing business. I mean, you're not going to, it's not a new thing that you don't know what to do. There are a lot of capacity. There are a lot of capacity all over in terms of consulting, in terms of knowledge, in terms of standardized practices and frameworks, if you have it there. So you know it's there. So it's a business that you can just go into, and once you are already in there, you'll be sure of succeeding if you try to push yourself to learn more about it. There's nothing you have to learn more about. It's not the probability of failure is very, very low if you actually learn more about it. In Nigeria here, one of the major weaknesses that is also impeding the growth of agriculture is the lack of mechanized farming. We still do the practice of agrarian and manual implement, manual method of farming. So we cannot easily scale up. Even though we know what to do, we know what to plant, and we know the seasons, so we've got some knowledge on it. But the problem is scaling up. Scalability, that's actually the biggest problem because of lack of mechanized farming. So that's a big issue there. In this part of the world, we do have our own threats to the agriculture too, especially price gouging, smuggling that is actually affecting the stability of local market prices. That's another one there. We have pest. All this actually affects other sectors too, but for agriculture, because it is price sensitive, any small thing that we do, they actually affect them too. So next slide, please. So for you to be in the business, you cannot just, for you to be in the business and survive in the business, you just have to look at the big picture. And what is the big picture? The big picture is that the populations of Nigeria and the population of African continent is the largest growing. So there is a business in there. In fact, just as African Development President said, the next set of the generation billionaires after the information technology will be coming from agriculture. And we know we have some value chain that are already established on the agriculture there. The size of the agribusiness in the continent is what 1 trillion by 2030 is just some 9 years to this place. A what $1 trillion business is something that you need to look into and take a pie from there. One good thing about the agriculture is that before we are going to all those everybody now is now looking for naturally grown products instead of alternative, the lab grown alternative. So everybody is now going back to the nature and saying nature. So with this, everybody is, it means going to be more businesses in agriculture, both for local and the export market. In fact, in US now, anything, if it is not natural, they won't take it. If it is not organic, they won't take it, which means that we still have a lot to do. In fact, if you try to do something, even if you plant something that's using inorganic method, they will actually reject it, which means that from Africa here, which we largely do organic here, there are a lot of export market for us. Everybody, including the national policy, Nigerian government, they've been setting a lot of side fund to drive agriculture, since we know this is where the next setup going to be. So agriculture powering the future of Nigeria, shouldn't it be in it? Yes, it should be. And then for you to that you're already in it, it should actually be, you're actually in the right place, and just for you to be able to go in for that. Next slide, please. So look at the big picture. I am not here to just but it looks like, where can you fit in? We have production gaps. We have gaps in demand and supply. Where do you fit in? Where can you fit in? Where can you fit in? Let me go to table 2.0 first. So let's take some few agricultural products, and let us look at it. Look at the gaps in demand and supply. If you're a rice farmer, the demand, we're actually doing 1/3 of the current demand. So no matter how, if you plant rice, we will still buy it. Even with the border that is actually open now, if you plant rice, you still make it. So there's a big gap in rice. Looking at the wheat too, the wheat market. I know because some our environment largely does not favor wheat, but we have areas in Nigeria where the wheat grows. Look at it. We're just doing like 1 or 2% of the total demand in wheat. This data is from 2019. Maize and corn. Yes, we're doing well on maize, but maize is actually seasonal. This supply that we're meeting 7 million tons out of 7.5 million tons, it's actually at the peak. But when we are off peak season like this, in fact, for poultry farmers, you know what maize is actually in. Look at the Australia beans. Now let's go to poultry, chickens, where we have 140 million birds, and then the gap on here is almost like we're only meeting 60% of the demand for chickens. Same thing with fish and with milk or dairy too. So this is how, anything there is a gap in supply and demand means that there's a ready market available. Ready market available. Let's go back to the, go back. Let's go back to table 1.0, production gaps by value chain. So wherever you decided to play in agriculture, there are, whether you're in the input supply, you're in the financing, which we're going to talk more better today, you're in the infrastructure or logistics, you're in the production, you're in market access and others. There are clear gaps in here. So it's just for you to look at these gaps and see where lies in your strength, where can you play in better, so that we can actually look at it. So it's a big one for you. It's a big one for the business, and it's just you don't need to do to play in all of them. Just pick one area to play. I know most of the people that I'm talking about here today, they are largely talking about production. Yeah, production is there, but input supply is there. Financing, which we're going to talk more later, is also in there, so that we'll be able to do market access and others, so that we'll be able to talk more about it. So clearly, there are gaps in demand and supply. There are gaps in value chain. It's just for you to sit down, look at it. Where best can I play? Where in line my strengths, and where is the low hanging fruit, so that I can quickly move into it. Next slide. So we're now going to talk about the main topic of today, which is the funding sources for agriculture. You've decided where you're going to play. You look at the value chain. You look at the demand and supply. You look at where you look at as you access the market. So how do I fund my business? How do I start, or how do I optimize my business? How do I scale up? So these are the areas that we'll be able to do. Largely, in terms of funding, there are three options for you for funding. The first one is a private equity. Second one is a government funding, government investing and schemes, and the third one is the traditional. So everybody at some point in time, depending on the stage where you are, whether you're a startup, whether you're an established business, whether you're a big player, it all depends where you are actually in here. So, and you know what? All the options are actually available for you. You can actually, all the options are actually available. All the three are actually available. You may start with private equity, or you may start with the government funding and schemes, and then move into private equity, or finally go into traditional financing. But the key thing here is that it all depends on what you want to do, at what stage you are, for you to determine what is best for you. And indeed, most agripreneurs here in Nigeria, they actually utilize all the three. So it is there for you to be able to utilize all the three. So let's look at the private equity. What does private equity mean? If you have looking at the previous page where we actually highlight the gap, if you have a unique or innovative crop agri-food products, and you're in the early stage of development, in fact, private equity is actually often, you really do not have the product, but you have the idea. You have the idea. You can use private equity as part of it. And what does private equity mean? That isn't for you to get cash to develop, sources of cash to develop right at the initial stage. Most of us were actually in this area. We do meet family and business, family and friends, come and invest in me, come and let's do this thing together. Let's do this together so that we'll be able to do. Most of us are also very well in this one. Another option for us here is also the crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing here, of course, you know a lot of them that are actually out there now. We have one there, crowdsourcing, where people are saying farm crowding, where they say, oh, I have a big farm, or I have a big poultry, come and invest in me, so that come and invest, and you get 10% ROI, or you get 50% ROI. There's nothing that says you cannot do it. Forget about the website that you are seeing. It is having the idea, it is having the model, it is having whatever to support it. People are going to crowdsourcing very well now. And do you know what? If you put your money in the bank, the interest rate now for savings is about, in fact, it's a less than 0%, less than 1%. If you put it in a fixed deposit is between 1% and 1.5%. Fixed deposit 80%, fixed deposit for 30 days, 90 days, and 120 days is about less than 1. So what does it mean? It means that we have people that have cash. We have people that have cash. But we have people that have cash, but nowhere to spend it. We have people that have cash. Cash is still just, you know the inflation rate now? Inflation rate is about 13.85% now. So if you now have money, let's assume that you have 1 million. You now have money and you put it in a bank. and the bank will now be paying you 1.5%. Don't you know that you are burning cash? So you are losing money. So that's why people are now turning into crowdsourcing. And yeah, so they will now look at, oh, who can give me better rates? Oh, I have a farm crowdy, or I have this, I have that one that can give it to me, and that's why you see that business. Once you have your own business store and you wanted to quickly scale up, crowdsourcing is one part of the scaling up. We also do have venture capital partners too. I have a lot of them here in PNI. There's a capital partner here. They are there in Nigeria. They are also there in abroad, where if you have any innovative system that nobody has got before, and you think that is actually a game changer, capital partners can actually support you. The only thing capital partners want is that they need you to be really structured. They need you to have actually done your own business model very well. They need you to have a business plan, and then they will look at it and they will decide to invest in it. If they do invest, and they will invest at a cost. Crowdsourcing to me is better than venture capital partners, because crowdsourcing is that the only thing that you hold them is their ROI. The only thing that you owe them, but venture capital partners, they will actually take an equity, a percentage of your company. So that's actually the way it is. Friends and family, in fact, these are people that you get money from at 0%, as it's just based on their integrity that we get. So you get this. Friends and family is actually the cheapest. Crowdsourcing is the next, and then venture capital partners that they own. There are lots of venture capital partners in Nigeria now. Lots of them are funding technology and information and communication and technology, but some are actually funding a great business too. If they look at it and say, oh, this is a one innovative product and this is a one-time product, so they're actually doing that too. So, so that option available. The drawback of the private equity is that, of course, you that is seeking private equity from venture capital or from crowdsourcing or from friends and family, you'll be able to trade off a portion of your equity for cash. Some of your business, I mean, you don't have 100% of control of your business again. You'll be able, since you're putting people in partnership, you have to trade part of it, so you have to be a joint company. Crowdsourcing is a little bit different, that you only, even though they do not have equity, but they have a charge on your profitability, on your cash. That's the one. Next page, please. Let's look at option 2. Option 2 is government funding and incentive. There are a variety of programs available to support agricultural businesses by FBN and CBN. Please, you just need to be aware of this. You just need to be aware, and don't say this thing is not working. Don't, just try. Just try. When you try, just try. Just try. Just try. When you try, you'll be able to get it. Some people are getting it, they are keeping quiet, but you should also target that too, so that you'll be able to do that one. I have listed a few of it that are fully specifically focused on agriculture. So that, and I also have, to this presentation, I have references and some attachments where you can actually do it. Let me start with the number 1, the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund. Government actually allocated 75 billion for Nigerian youth investment. So what this one is that they will loan between 500,000 to 5 million, 500,000 to 10 million a year. So they want to encourage youth between the ages of 18 and 35 come and will give you money. First of all, if you want to register, this one is specifically targeted at startup and who are mainly youth. If you want to register your business, it will register it for you free of charge. You do not have to pay to corporate affairs commissions. Then, if you are an individual, they can give you loans from 500 to 10 million. I have the detail. It's being run by the CPN. I have the details, which is actually attached to this presentation and can be shared with you. You need to look at it. These are people are taking part of it, and they'll be able to do. It's a 75 billion revolving fund. Currently, as at the moment, I think about, I'm not sure, it's about 25 or 30 billion has actually been utilized out of this, which means that the opportunity still abounds. Most of this you actually apply. Details are on the CBN website, and you actually apply through partner banks. The second one is the National Young Farmer Scheme. This Young Farmer Scheme has actually been reactivated. The aim is to engage 1,000 youths in each of the local 774 local governments in mechanized agriculture. So what does the National Young Farmer Scheme provide? They provide land, they provide farm input services like tractors, like chemicals, and seedlings. Currently, there's a pilot running. 100 youths per local government are currently, that pilot is actually running. They have the detail on their website, nalda.ng, and they have NALDA offices all over the country. You can go to their website, check for the NALDA, and try and apply. The key thing here is that because these are government stuff, you may find it very difficult to apply because, but still, these are opportunities that are available for us, and it's available for you, and you can actually take part of it in there. The next one is the AAD scheme by CBN. The AAD scheme is also the Accelerated Agricultural Development Scheme, and the aim is to engage 370,000 youths in agricultural production. This one is purely agricultural production over the next 3 years. And the amount varies from 500,000 to 10 million. And the loan is about 3 years. In fact, they made it easy so that you actually have a moratorium of like 6 months, depending on the kind of business that you are running. If it is poultry, if it is broiler that you are doing, you can have a moratorium up to one year, which means you not pay back the loan until afterwards before you start paying back, you start paying back the loan. CBN is actually running it. It's on CBN website, and I think it's something some people are actually taking part. I mean, they're actually benefiting from there. So it's something that you should actually look at too. Next slide, please. So we have the PES. These PES are for the lower end of the scheme. They call it Presidential Youth Empowerment Scheme. This Youth Empowerment Scheme, it covers across all the artisan areas, including farming. People like vulcanizer, people like mechanic, including farming, if you are doing farming, agriculture, and food processing. They will actually have some training programs, and then after their training programs, once you have done that one, they also give out loans and capacity skills too. They do that work too, so they'll be able to do that one. It's something that you can actually look at. They also have offices all over the nations, and they also have websites, even though their website does not detail so much on it. The next one, which I actually wanted to do, is the MSME Awards. This MSME Awards is like an annual national MSME award. It's an annual award. They have an agriculture category. They have it in all other areas. Under the agriculture category, you can actually win up to 10 million naira once you have actually been selected. It is working. In 2014, we have a lot of people that were selected by the government under this. And we will show them some of the things that we can actually do inside there, and it is working. You should check their website. The last one, which I will also do here, which is actually what you need right now. For some that are already in the business. For some that are already in the business, during this COVID has actually dealt with us. We have laid up some staff. We have a problem in paying staff and all those ones. So what is National Survival Fund, what they want to do is that they want to make sure that for you to survive, to be covered off, they are here with 1, free business registration, 2, 30K payment to 30,000 artisans, and they are largely for the artisans. And that's for the artisans. They also have some sort of a payroll support of between 30K, not to the owner of the business, but if you have a staff that you've been finding difficult to pay to, they have a payroll support of between 30K to 50K, and a maximum of 3 to 5 staff. That's actually what we do. So it's something that you can actually use to say, I'm just trying to come back. I'm already in the business, but this COVID period that we have has actually made business very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So it's something that we can also look into it too. This concludes the option 2. I would like to go to option 3 now so that you can actually see the options are there. Next slide, please. So option 3 is option 3 is banks, not that is actually wrong. Sorry. The last option that you have to do is the traditional routes, financing and leveraging bank financing. Please, that's government funding incentive. Please, it's an error for me. Is banks traditional financing, which is banks. So what does this option does? This option does is just the traditional routes. You need money, you go to your bank. Normally, a small business, you can approach a bank for an operating loan or line of credit to help offset cash flows. The bank will want to review an asset, going to do routes. The bank also take a lot of cues inside it. They want to review what you have, liability, and then and assess your risk. Most of the banks now, most of the banks actually, even though they don't want to lend to agriculture, but CBN, using the cash reserve ratio and the low interest, they are now forced to lend to agriculture now. So that's actually what they're actually forced into it. The main, by telling them that CBN on a monthly basis, they do cash mop up. They look at your cash that you have. I mean, I'm talking of the banks. And they look at your loan to force you to lend. If you're not lending, they will take that cash at 0% and deposit it at CBN. So banks are looking for other ways and open to lend with this one. The main drawback of this bank financing is one, the high interest rates. The interest rates may be as high as 18%, 80% per annum, which is even better. Anyway, if you go to non-traditional lender, that will be able to tell you 5% per month, which is like 60% per annum. When you go to bank, you know that 80% of bank is far, far better than the non-traditional lender that is asking you to bring 5% per month or 10% per month. It's also the one. And for this area, we have a lot of options here for us in Nigeria. Initially, it used to be commercial bank. Commercial bank will ask for several things. They will ask for collateral. They will ask for collateral. They will ask for collateral, and they will ask for business plan. They do risk assessment. They did this. They did that one. It used to be, and every bank now they have an agri desk, and where they look at all this one. For you to actually go to a commercial bank for this one, you must have your paper complete. Your business plan, your funding plan, your marketing plan, and you have to have that complete. It should be better if you're trying to get the bank for scaling up and you've already had this business, you're already working with it, but you just want to scale up so that when you want to scale up, they just needed to bank to say, oh, I'm financing this asset, I'm financing this factory, I'm financing this processing line, and that's actually what we want to do. Startups usually don't go to banks because banks will not waste their time. I mean, they will not give them the interest that they want to know. So that's the problem of the commercial bank. But because of this gap, federal government also created their own banks. There's one bank called Development Bank of Nigeria. The Development Bank is for all sectors of the economy. It is owned by FG. Their interest can be as low as 9%. Some for agriculture, it can actually be as 5%. So Development Bank of Nigeria is really, really spearheading this. In the last 3 years, they've disbursed 150 billion to 100,000 MSME, small and medium-scale enterprises through the participation of financial institutions. They have a website, and then all the product that they actually finance is there. The detail that they do is actually there, so you can check them out. There's no harm in checking them out. And I have people that have actually done this one. Then the next one, which is also government owned, is we call it Bank of Agriculture, and then the Bank of Industry. Bank of Agriculture is also set up by government. It's purely specifically for agriculture, and they fund agriculture. The Bank of Agriculture loans is actually like 5%. Development Bank of Nigeria is 9%. That was the last time. They must have clearly reviewed it by now. And this is the way they actually do their own. So Bank of Agriculture are known people that have taken 10 million naira from Bank of Agriculture for factory financing. I have a person close to me that have taken that one. They came, they assessed it, they did some sort of assessment, they visited their farms, they visited their factory. The person that actually took it is actually an uncle of mine, is using it to set up feed mill. And they look at it, and they got invoice, they connected the feed mill provider with the equipment manufacturer, and that's actually what they have done. So it's nice that you actually check them out. They have offices all over the nation. They have in Abeokuta, they have in Lagos, and they have, but you can just start with their website. Same also with Bank of Industries, they actually use the same thing too. So these three banks, Development Bank of Nigeria, Bank of Industries, and Bank of Agriculture, they're government-owned bank. At times, mostly you cannot, to make it easier, you may not be able to access the fund directly. You may have to use a participating bank, like a normal commercial bank, with them for you to be able to access. The Bank of Industry, specifically, they have offices, they have banking or where you can actually apply for this. So that's actually the way it is. Just as I told you earlier on, banks, traditional banks, whether be traditional or government set up specific bank, they are there. They largely fund existing businesses with a clear plan for growth, with a clear plan for scalability, and then with some sort of structure. They don't fund individual business, they fund companies, set up corporate entity that they set up where and they will do a lot of risk assessment, what is the kind of business they have to do, they will check their account details, they check their business plan before they will be able to do that one. So just as a recap, funding sources are available for you. It is available for the farmer. And it's just love for the farmer to be able to pick it up and say, I will get this one done. Don't just go into your cocoon and say, oh, there's no funding, I'm not going to do something. Some people are benefiting from it, some people are looking at it to be able to. The private equity is there. In fact, private equity, friends and family is still there. You can get the money from zero sources at 0% interest rate. It's just that you have to do that one. People are now hooking on to crowdsourcing. This low interest regime will not last forever. And this is the opportunity to use crowdsourcing. I've seen lots of people that are doing crowdsourcing. FabCrowd is part of it. And everybody are actually setting it up either on the community basis or either in the community or in a larger area. And people are really putting their money in there. Even though I must admit there are a lot of fake out there, but we have the genuine ones there that are actually making it, and people know that they are the genuine and putting themselves up there. Venture capital, if you have any innovative products, any innovation, any game changer, every venture capital, all they want is that they want to make money. So anything that will make them make money, they will actually do that work for them. So, second option, as I told you, we have government funding and incentive. It has been created. In fact, CBN is creating, as CBN is creating, also the federal government is also creating so that they can complement each other on that one. You have to look for it. And don't close the eyes for existing business. Don't close the eyes on the banks too. Please don't close your eyes on the bank, because the banks are also still there for you to be able to grow and scale up. When you have actually started your SME, get to a time that you just need to scale up, and you may need the bank for that scalability. Thank you very much. I've taken, because we started late, so I've taken more than 30 minutes, but we still have, so maybe we still have some time for question and answer. Is there any question you would like to, any clarification or any question you would like to ask them so that we can actually do that one?
Yes, thank you so much, sir. And we really appreciate this expository training. And I know by now we have so many options to finance and develop our various farming businesses. Thank you so much for this. I wouldn't want to keep. I don't know if you are busy or you may want to wait behind because we planned that by 8 p.m. that will be the time for question and answer so that we can go to the second training now. So if you will be available to join us for the second training that will be taken by Mr. Tolulope Shopeju, we'll appreciate it. But if not, we'll just want you to join us again by maybe 8, let me say 8:15. By that time, we'll be doing question and answer proper.
I'm on standby. I'm on
All
standby.
right. So let's welcome